So, pardon me. A few months before Hurricane Harvey, I lost my baby. So, when Hurricane Harvey happened, I still had that thing where I wanted another baby, and it had to be my ex's. It had to have the same ingredients, right? So, the flood happens, and we have this sense of unity, blah, 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 blah. We're going to have a baby. We were going to move to Portland because we decided that his mother was the best, she would be the best grandparent out of all of them. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that. She was the best candidate. Whatever. I said what I said. I don't know what I meant. So, that didn't last long. Maybe 3 weeks max, right? My grandmother, when I told her, that's about the time I started kind of sort of talking to her again because she was real shitty about my pregnancy. And when I told her that, she was like, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You guys don't even like his mom. She's really not one to talk, but whatever. She's like, and I didn't like his mom at the time, but mostly at the time, I just didn't like her because I told her, that bitch, she's the only person I got to tell in a somewhat cutesy way that I was pregnant, and she didn't even acknowledge it. It's just funny how people shoot themselves in the foot, right? Because I've never done anything for that bitch to ever think that I have anything but truly, truly good intentions for her son. But my mom's the same way with my brother, like, just stupid, like, I don't know. It's just funny because if she had, instead of like trying to make it seem like everything was my fault, if she had worked with me to get my ex help, things would be so different. Anyway. My mom's the same way though. Some women are just fucking weird. When it comes to their sons especially, it's like they will like totally, absolutely help them hide the body. I mean, I think I would, but it depends on why the person died, right? Why'd you kill him? Better be a good reason. Anyway. We were going to have a baby. We were going to move to Portland. My grandmother's like, that's the worst idea ever. You guys don't even like his mom. And then she's like, I hope you understand he got exactly what he wanted when your baby died. And again, you're one to talk, lady, because so did you. You wanted me to have an abortion. So, Anyway, I was like really super in denial anyway because I had to be. I had found out, he canceled my car insurance because I wouldn't have an abortion and he forgot about it. And it was, I really needed to not think about that and be pissed because his family welcomed me, right? My family didn't, nobody was lined up, right? My classmates were awesome. But anyway, and Bobby and Melissa both, I think, volunteered to come to me, right? I had Bethany volunteering to get a boat, but my family, no. So blah, 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 we're gonna have a baby. That didn't last long because that motherfucker, things would happen, He called me a fat bitch and I threw the soda I was drinking at him. It was a Mountain Dew. It was his Mountain Dew and I was taking a drink of it. He called me a fat bitch. And I just like flipped the soda at him. And he tried to, he grabbed my shirt and he shoved me down to the floor and he tried to make me lick it up. And he He just said some fucked up shit. And no, I'm gonna tell you what he said. What he said is, lick it up right now, or so help me God, I will stick my fingers in your and stretch it all the way apart. Now get down there and lick it up, dog. And then he called me dog in German like 20 times. So yeah, anyway, I escaped out of that situation. I did not lick it up off the floor. I pretended like I was going to, and then I psyched him out, and I ran up the stairs, and my fat ass made it. And I ran in his sister's room. She was like dead asleep. She called his dad, and I talked to their dad for a minute. It's relevant for a later story, I guess. But I told, they knew what he said, right? Anyway, things like that would happen. And what the fuck, you know? So I would either get kicked out of his sister's house or not by his sister. She was never anything but super, super fucking sweet to me, really. I'd get kicked out, or I would like steal his little rental car and take my orange cats and leave, right? Oh God. And I just needed to not think about the car when I was trying to have the baby with him, right? Because I was so furious. And frankly, even after I realized that the baby thing was not gonna happen, I still get, oh, let me tell you, it's hard to, who does that? It's not even like he said, like it's an immature, fucked up thing to do. But it'd be one thing, I think, if he had said, if you don't, I'll cancel your car insurance. But he did, I had no idea, you know? I mean, I could have had all kinds of wrecks. I don't know. But you know, I don't know. It's just, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I know people that have been properly married and divorced, like, sometimes get all, whenever people that have not been married try to say that they know what it's like to be married. I will stare your ass dead in the eye and fucking, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to lose all your shit because of the person you're with, right? Because you'll break up and it gets nasty, right? Fuck. Anyway. So, I couldn't live at his sister's. Eventually he couldn't either. He had to leave because he mouthed off about how he was going to burn the place down while they were sleeping. And people don't like that shit, so he had to go live with his dad. And if you silver lining it, because almost anything can be silver lined, I used to be really good at it. I could like spin anything. But this is a true spin. Or it's not a spin, it's a true silver lining. Because he's abusive, he had to live with his dad, and his dad would die fairly soon, right? So he got to spend a lot of time with his dad that otherwise he would not have spent with him. And he didn't see his dad very much because it upset his mom, and he was just trying to keep the peace, you know? Anyway, silver lining. In a fucked up way, I'm glad, right? Because if he hadn't have been that way, some days, I mean, it's like really hard to say that though, because he's such a motherfucker. He's such an asshole. And he's encouraged, right? By his little yes men bro dudes and his family, basically. But anyway, I became friendly with his stepmom. His stepmother is probably the last person I considered my really close friend, like really close. Like I told her a lot of shit, and thing is, she was really nice to me about my baby, and I was starving for that. She would call me. I was living upstairs above my fucking flooded garage. I had 2 broken feet. Couldn't walk, man. Didn't have a car. When I did have a car, I couldn't really drive it without crunching the bone, right? Couldn't go down the stairs and take the cat litter without crunching the bone. I was bribing the pizza delivery dudes to mail my packages for me, mail anything for me. And it sucked. I had a deal with his dad where when he came over, if he was, anytime I told him to leave, he was supposed to leave immediately. If not, his dad was going to pick him up, come over there personally. It never really worked out that way. It never worked that way out at all, actually. I mean, but I had a lot of fun with him. It wasn't always scary, but when it would get scary, I don't know. Scary for me is funny for other people. My grandmother got a kick out of it. He pelted me with the McDonald's food one time that he'd purchased and was like calling me like a cheeseburger slut and cheeseburger whore and just stuff like that. And my grandmother got a kick out of it and called a couple people and told them all about it while cackling. Whatever. Another time that I wouldn't have had to rely on anyone if I had not been lied to about the account that my great grandmother set up for me, right? Anyway, I became close to his stepmom. His stepmom would call me every day and we would smoke cigarettes. We would take a smoke break, basically. And every day, I mean, we talked every day. And she vented a lot about her marriage. It was not perfect, and I was very surprised by that because it seemed perfect. And sometimes I wondered if she was just trying to like kind of make me feel better because I was in such a dysfunctional relationship or what, you know? But regardless, she would ask me also every day, and I do mean every day, every time we talked, is dickhead being a dickhead? Is whatever being a dickhead? She's talking about my ex, and I would answer truthfully. Sometimes he was, sometimes he wasn't. The point is, she would ask, right? Ugh, I have to take a break. This is so fucking just disgusting.